Hello everyone. Welcome back to ZoomInData. In this video, we will take a complete tour of the Azure portal and then create our very first Azure Data Factory step by step. This video is designed for beginners, so even if you are completely new to Azure, you will be able to follow along easily. By the end of this video, you will understand where Azure Data Factory lives in the portal and how to create it from scratch. Before we start, let's clearly understand what you will learn in this video. First, we'll understand what the Azure portal is and how Azure services are organized. Then we'll locate Azure Data Factory inside the portal. After that, I'll show you how to create a data factory step by step, and finally, we'll see what options are available once the data factory is created. The Azure portal is a web-based management console provided by Microsoft. It is the main place where you create, manage, monitor, and secure all Azure services. Whether you are working with virtual machines, databases, storage, or Azure Data Factory, everything is managed through the Azure portal. You can access it from any browser by logging in with your Microsoft account. Azure organizes services in a structured way. At the top level, you have a subscription, which handles billing and access control. Inside a subscription, you create resource groups. A resource group is simply a logical container that holds related resources together. Azure Data Factory itself is a resource that lives inside a resource group. Resource groups are extremely important in Azure. They help you organize related services together, for example, all services used in one project. If a project is no longer needed, you can delete the entire resource group and clean up everything at once. Resource groups also help in managing permissions and tracking costs efficiently. Azure Data Factory is one of the many resources you can create inside a resource group. It is specifically used for data integration and orchestration. ADF does not work alone. It connects with storage accounts, databases, analytics services, and other Azure tools to move and transform data. Before creating Azure Data Factory, you need a few things. You must have an Azure account with an active subscription. A free Azure account is enough for learning. You should also be comfortable navigating the Azure portal and have access to a browser and internet connection. To begin, open your browser and go to portal.azure.com. Sign in using your Microsoft account. Once logged in, you will reach the Azure homepage. This is the starting point for managing all Azure services. The Azure homepage gives you an overview of your environment. At the top, there is a search bar where you can quickly find any service. You'll also see recently used resources and shortcuts. On the left side, the navigation menu helps you move across different Azure sections. To find Azure Data Factory, simply use the search bar at the top of the portal. Type Azure Data Factory and select it from the search results. This will take you to the Azure Data Factory service page. The Azure Data Factory service page shows all the data factories created under your subscription. From here, you can create a new data factory, manage existing ones, and view the details such as region and resource group. The Azure Data Factory service page shows all the data factories created under your subscription. From here, you can create a new data factory, manage existing ones, and view the details such as region and resource group. When naming your data factory, remember that the name must be globally unique. You should also select an Azure region that is closest to your data or users. The region affects performance, latency, and sometimes cost. After filling in all the details, review your configuration carefully. Once everything looks correct, click on Create. Azure will now start deploying your data factory, which usually takes a few minutes. During deployment, Azure provisions all the required resources in the background. You don't need to take any action at this stage. Once the deployment is complete, you'll receive a notification. After deployment, click on Go to Resource. This opens the Data Factory overview page. From here, you can launch Azure Data Factory Studio, which is where you build pipelines and workflows. Azure Data Factory Studio is a web-based development environment. This is where you create pipelines, configure activities, monitor executions, and manage connections. In the next video, we will explore ADF Studio in detail. Once your data factory is created, you can start building pipelines, connect to different data sources, schedule data movement, and monitor pipeline executions. This is where real data engineering work begins. Beginners often make mistakes such as choosing the wrong region, using unclear naming conventions, or not organizing resources properly. These mistakes can cause performance issues and higher costs. Being careful at the beginning saves a lot of effort later. In summary, the Azure portal is the central control center for all Azure services. Azure Data Factory is a resource inside a resource group. Understanding this structure makes it easy to create and manage services. Creating a data factory is simple once you understand these basics. Before moving to the next video, try answering these questions. If you can answer them confidently, it means you have understood this video very well. These questions will also help you remember the concepts long-term. Thank you for watching this video on the Azure portal and creating your first Azure Data Factory. In the next video, we will explore the Azure Data Factory user interface in detail. Don't forget to subscribe to ZoomInData for more beginner-friendly data engineering tutorials. See you in the next video.